These are the countries that everyone wants to leave. Literally millions are trying to leave these countries. Don't miss the end. At number 5, it's Ukraine. Once peaceful, now torn by war. Millions have packed bags and crossed borders just to survive. At number 4, it's Sudan. Conflict after conflict. Families leaving everything behind because staying isn't an option anymore. At number 3, it's Afghanistan. Decades of fighting. No jobs, no stability. People escape in search of even basic safety. For many, the only hope is to escape. At number 2, it's Syria. Bombed out cities, destroyed homes. Half the country has already left. It's one of the biggest refugee crises in history. Finally, at number 1, this country was once rich, but now broken. Shelves are empty, money is worthless, and the future is gone. More than 7 million people have already fled. I'm talking about Venezuela. These are the countries that everyone wants to leave. Why does America look so neat on one side and completely chaotic on the other side? Look west. The states there are sharp, clean boxes. Lined so straight it feels like they were carved with a ruler. Perfect edges, almost too perfect to be real, like someone drew them in one sitting. Now glance east. The picture changes instantly. Borders twist, curve, and bend like they were drawn freehand with no plan. It's uneven and almost random, as if every border had its own story. Same country, two totally different styles. So why the split? For years, people wondered why the US map looks almost broken in half. There's a hidden line that explains everything. One half of America was mapped all at once using math and coordinates drawn like boxes on a grid. The other half was actually patched together slowly over time, shaped by rivers, mountains, and old disputes. Why does America look? Which is the longest road in the world? This road actually cuts across 2 continents. It begins in the frozen north of Alaska. From there, it dips into Canada, then slides back through the United States, crossing mountains, plains, and cities. But the road doesn't stop. It again stretches into Mexico, winds through Guatemala and El Salvador, then keeps rolling into Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica. It crosses into Panama, the last stop in Central America. From there, the highway jumps into South America. It pushes through Colombia, runs down into Ecuador, then it flows and winds its way through Peru. It stays close to the sea as it goes down the coast of Chile, and then it gets to the big fields of Argentina. It goes across 14 countries and named the Pan-American Highway. Which is the longest road in the world? This road... There's a small city in America that secretly runs the world's whole internet. Yes, literally the whole world. It's not a big flashy place, just a quiet city most people completely ignore. But here's the twist. Almost everything online passes through it. Your TikToks, your YouTube videos, even your late-night food orders, all connect through this spot first before reaching you. From the outside, the buildings look boring. No windows, no signs, nothing exciting to notice while driving by. But inside, it's basically the internet's hidden engine room, always on, never stopping for even a second. If this city went dark, the world would be dark too. Websites would easily crash worldwide. Messages wouldn't even be sent. Huge parts of modern life would freeze in seconds. And remember, all this power comes from one super boring looking town. But why here? Because this city sits close to Washington, D.C., has a huge power supply, and giant fiber cables all meet here. It's a small city with the biggest online job on Earth. It's Ashburn, Virginia. There's a small city in America that secretly runs. Which U.S. state could survive alone if the rest disappeared? Don't miss the end, because the state at number 1 will blow your mind. At number 5, it's Hawaii. It grows its own food all year, has big military power, and could live cut off from everyone else. At number 4, it's Florida. Ports, coasts, farms, everything connects here. If the rest vanished, Florida would still keep moving. At number 3, it's Alaska. Twice the size of Texas, loaded with resources, barely 1 million people. Cold? Sure, but plenty to survive on. At number 2, we got California. On its own, it's already the world's 5th largest. These are the countries that everyone wants to leave. Literally millions are trying to leave these countries. Don't miss the end. At number 5, it's Ukraine. Once peaceful.
You're eliminated if you're holding your phone with one.
The other day I was just messing around when for some reason I kneeled on my super rare YouTube chair. Obviously the fabric immediately ripped into 2 pieces just like my heart. I was absolutely devastated. I'd just damaged one of the rarest artifacts in YouTube history. It was worse than when PewDiePie's 100 million play button got scratched. But then I remembered I'm a very talented sewer. So I sewed it back together and everything was okay. The other day I was just messing around when for some reason I kneeled on my super rare YouTube chair. Obviously the fabric immediately ripped into 2 pieces just like my heart. I was absolutely devastated. I'd just damaged one of the rarest artifacts in YouTube history. It was worse than when PewDiePie's 100 million play button got scratched. But then I remembered I'm a very talented sewer. So I sewed it back together and everything was okay. The other day I was just messing around when for some reason I kneeled on my super rare YouTube chair. Obviously the fabric immediately ripped into 2 pieces just like my heart. I was absolutely devastated. I'd just damaged one of the rarest artifacts in YouTube history. It was worse than when PewDiePie's 100 million play button got scratched. But then I remembered I'm a very talented sewer. So I sewed it back together and everything was okay. The other day I was just messing around when for some reason I kneeled on my super rare YouTube chair. Obviously the fabric immediately ripped into two pieces just like my heart. I was absolutely devastated. I'd just damaged one of the rarest artifacts in YouTube history. It was worse than when PewDiePie's 100 million play button got scratched. But then I remembered I'm a very talented sewer. So I sewed it back together and everything was okay. The other day I was just messing around when for some reason I kneeled on my super rare YouTube chair. Obviously the fabric immediately ripped into two pieces just like my heart. I was absolutely devastated. I'd just damaged one of the rarest artifacts in YouTube history. It was worse than when PewDiePie's 100 million play button got scratched. But then I remembered I'm a very talented sewer. So I sewed it back together. I don't really do play button videos anymore, but this is so cool I had to show it off. Recently, MrBeast's 200 million and 300 million subscriber play buttons were revealed. You can see they look exactly like the 100 million award, but instead of the red centerpiece, we have a bronze centerpiece for the 200 award, which I'm a bit unsure about the color. Maybe it looks better in real life. And then the 300 million award's this bright cyan color, which I think looks epic. However, just yesterday, MrBeast revealed his 400 million subscriber play button. As you can see, it once again is the same as the other ones, but this one has a cool blue centerpiece. And you can see it was hand delivered to him by the YouTube CEO Neil Mohan. Let me know which of the 4 play buttons is your favorite. I don't really do play button videos anymore, but this is so cool I had to show it off. Recently, what happens if you only do push-ups and pull-ups for 30 days? Well, I'm still pretty new to fitness, but this is what my body looks like on day 1. I did just 30 minutes of exercise each day, alternating between push-ups on day 1 and pull-ups on day 2. As you can see, I'm way better at push-ups than pull-ups. Right now, I can only do about 4 pull-ups in a row. After my first week, I was already noticing more definition on my back, and I started doing harder push-up variations, like decline push-ups and ring push-ups. I was still struggling with pull-ups, so I was using assistance bands to reduce my weight. I also tried multiple grip variations to focus on different muscle groups. Yep. That's some progress. Towards the end of the month, I'd made serious improvements to my push-ups, going from a max of 21 reps on day 1 to 33 reps on day 29. My pull-up form had also improved a lot from day 1, and on day 30, I managed 6 reps in a row. 6. Kind of. I know that's nothing crazy, but pull-ups are a pretty difficult exercise. There was also a nice difference to my physique, mainly with my chest that had grown by a crazy 5 centimeters in just 1 month. You can see the proper breakdown of exactly what happened in my full video. What happens if you only do push-ups and pull-ups for 30 days? Well, I'm still pretty new to fitness. I signed up to Cameo for 24 hours to see how much money I could make. If you don't know, Cameo is a website where you pay celebrities for personalized messages. I set my price to $27, and after a few hours, I had 157 requests, which equates to over $4,000. When I read my first booking, I realized I'd made a terrible mistake. Sing in carol tune, Good King Wenceslas is a poo. Okay, I can do that. Cut to you eating a tomato. And so I immediately returned from my fridge, tomato in hand, because I had dreams to fulfill. The tomato took ages to chew, by the way. Here I am kazooing the tune of Look What You Made Me Do by Taylor Swift. I then kept working through the bookings. Can you say the word carrot over and over for like 5 minutes? That sounds more like my kind of thing. Carrot, 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 carrot. The word carrot is meaningless to me now, but I've got another 20 quid. And they definitely got worse and worse. Feet, please. Show us them feet soles, Jack. I don't want to show this person the bottom of my feet. Lots of people were asking me to sing for some reason. They want me to sing Rebecca Black Friday and Thick of It by KSI. Epic. It's Friday, Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Where's my crown? That's my bling. Always drama when I ring. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I got an extra $20 for that, but at what cost? My dignity is in tatters. But in the end, after fees, I made over £2,500. If you want to see me embarrass myself more, check out the full video. I signed up to Cameo for 24 hours to see how much money I could. Is it possible to walk 100,000 steps in 1 day? Well, I got up at 6 a.m. and immediately started walking to find that out. As the sun started to rise, I had already done about 5,000 steps, which took about 45 minutes. But after that, things did start going downhill. Despite this, I saw a cute dog, which definitely lifted my spirits. I had a quick wee in a bush, and after 5 hours, I was a third of the way there. No, 33,334! Meaning it was time for lunch. After a quick lunch, I was back to it, and the sun actually started coming out, which was nice. At 44,000 steps, I officially broke the record for most steps I'd ever walked previously in a day. Woo! But I still had over 50,000 steps ahead of me. Another hour later, I reached the halfway mark. We're halfway! And after 8 hours, I'd officially walked the total length of a marathon. I'd now done 70,000 steps, but the sun was starting to set and I was getting pretty exhausted. It was now dark and cold, and despite Becky's best efforts, I was pretty miserable.
Smile, just one little one. Yay!
I still had about 3 hours ahead of me in the pitch black. I was breaking constant records on my smartwatch, but I was now in severe foot pain, struggling to keep up pace. But finally, after 16 hours, we made it.
It's broken.
And it literally broke my pedometer. To see what it did to my body, check out the full video. Is it possible to walk 100,000 steps? Welcome to my annual YouTube play button tour. This is the greatest collection of YouTube memorabilia on the platform, and there's been a few changes since last year. Look at this absolute monstrosity. The 390.
Bill and Janet